I am ranked number one. One! That means I'm the best.
Let me finish. My problem is that I mentioned Deontay Wilder in the comparison. My problem is in discussing Ortiz, I was a little bit annoyed how they were so quick to hail Luis Ortiz as the top heavyweight in the world already. B, I didn't like how when they're discussing all these heavyweights that Jim Lampley especially, he had to be forced to mention Deontay Wilder's name in the conversation. I was put off by that. Here he is, Wilder, the top American heavyweight around, has a major belt. He's a name. He has marketability, and yet Jim Lampley didn't want to mention his name. And when Max Kellerman almost forced to mention his name, he said his name, and then he kind of brushed him off as he was insignificant. So speak to the future of Ortiz and speak to, I think, HBO's certain level of disrespect there towards Deontay Wilder. And this is for anybody.
Well, I mean, they serve respect against any black fighter. They've always been that way, though. It's not just him. It's you know what it is. Shit.
I'm not gonna say that because this is the same Jim Lampley who had a man crush on Roy Jones for years. So
that's right, and who still has one.
They got the best friend as well.
Wait a minute, we got Boxing Beats and Rhymes joining us. What's going on?
So you saying there's no racism in boxing?
No, I'm not saying that. Saying that, but I'm saying in Jim Lampley's case, I can't say that because he has had a man crush on Roy Jones for a year. He was about to say something. Beats, go ahead.
It doesn't matter what they say because Wilder has won already. Wilder was written off in the amateurs. He was written off in every stage of his pro career. He was written off against Deverne. You know, he's one of the most exciting fighters. He doesn't get credit for that. HBO overlook him on the KO ratio where he beats Triple G. It doesn't matter. He's won already, right? They're trying to bring it into existence that this guy ain't about his business. But anyone would tell you, right? I interviewed Wilder way over 2 years before he won the title because I believed in Wilder. I saw Wilder. I believed in Wilder, right? They tried to put it into the minds of everybody. He's not going to go to Russia. He's going to vacate the belt. What? To fight Povetkin? You got to be crazy. He's going over there to knock Povetkin out. Whether anyone likes him or not. He's going to lose the title. Well, that's boxing. Don't you know what I mean? Like, what do they expect him to do? One man's got to win. Why should Wilder fear anybody with that punch? And he's improving. Why should he fear anybody? They should be fearing Wilder, right? Because he can end the fight anytime, right? And you know they better have some security in there because them Russian fans are not going to be happy when their boys on the floor there, out cold. They ain't going to be too happy.
Oh, that one's going to be fun. Yeah, that one's going to be fun indeed. There's an interesting angle actually.
If he keeps him at the end of his punches, he wins. If he don't, he get knocked out.
Well, that's boxing. I mean, there's no.
That's what everybody said. That's boxing. I'm just telling you the truth. If old boy gets inside, he going to sleep.
Yeah, and if Wilder connects clean to him, he's going to sleep.
Well, it wasn't 11, 12 round. Wilder ain't knocking people out like he used to. He ain't not in the first round. Yeah. He takes like 10 rounds.
Only one of his fights went the distance against Deverne.
That's the verb, right? I know. I've seen all this fight.
Right?
All I'm saying he ain't knocking guys out in the first round like he used to. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but they're still getting taken out. They're still getting stopped.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah, eventually or whatever. What, you don't have to do it in one round. It's a 12-round sport, championship boxing. It's not one round boxing.
I know, but the height of round.
Listen, Deontay Wilder.
What I'm saying is
Deontay Wilder doesn't. Deontay Wilder.
We're talking over each other here one at a time, please. We're talking over each other one at a time, please.
Look, Deontay Wilder doesn't train for one round.
He ain't all that.
Deontay Wilder doesn't train for 1 round. I remember you were saying about his skinny chicken legs and his that.
He do got some goddamn skin. It's gonna catch up to his ass.
Yeah,
I promise
right.
you. It's gonna catch up to his ass.
Yeah,
It's gonna catch up
you
to him.
want that to happen. That's what you want to happen.
It's going to
No,
happen. If you know
that's
anything
what
about
you want
boxing,
to
with them
happen.
little chicken ass
That's
legs
what
and that
you want
big
to
top
happen.
body, it just don't go
All
together.
right, we'll
That's
see.
just on the
We'll
floor.
see. We'll see.
Don't you see how he was flipping around? What do you thought that last dude?
I'm a
That
official
last
bump
fight he
squad.
fought. You saw how he was slumping around on the goddamn ground and shit because his legs?
Okay.
It's just a matter of time, bro.
Okay.
It's just a matter of time.
Okay.
Let's bring everybody else into this discussion. I heard you, Shady Slim, ask what was I talking about. I was talking about the future for Ortiz and how HBO seems to already be hailing this guy, anointing this guy as the best heavyweight in the world. One, I think that's a little bit presumptuous on their part. But two, and most importantly, I didn't like personally how Lampley, in particular, seemed reticent to bring Deontay Wilder into the discussion about the top heavyweights out there. And when he was forced to do it almost by Max Kellerman, he said his name, but then he brushed him off. It was like he was irrelevant. I took a little bit of offense to that. So I want your comments on that and anybody else who want to join into this discussion about the future Ortiz and HBO's indifference or attitude they have towards Deontay Wilder, in my opinion.
I like Luis Ortiz, man. He's a good fighter, but I don't think you can put him in the category with Deontay Wilder just yet, man, because he hasn't fought nobody. Nobody, man. Tony Thompson was a guy just coming in there to get a check, man. You can see the man draws about to fall down. I mean, that was pathetic. One of the worst fights I ever seen in my life, man.
I swear.
This guy wouldn't let his hands go. I mean, you just saw the man. You knew he was coming there just to get a check.
I think that I mean, I'm a big fan of Luis Ortiz. You know, I definitely think he has fought, you know, may not fought the best competition, but you look back at when he fought, oh my God, I can't remember his name right now, Brian Jennings. I mean, that beats everybody on Wilder's resume. Now, I mean, I see why you would say, how can they say he's better than a champion? Because in the day, Wilder isn't getting the respect that he deserves, regardless of the competition or not. He is a champion and has kept his belt for, 4 or 5 defenses now. We're going to his 5th defense or 4th defense. So there's got to be some respect there. The reason why he's not being mentioned by Lampley is because of the fact that he's not an HBO fighter. He's still essentially a Showtime or anti-HBO at this current moment fighter. So that's one reason he's not going to bring him up.
No. Let me push back. I got this.
Man. You got to beat somebody.
Beats, I got this. Let me get this. Whenever they talk welterweights, they're not afraid to mention Kell Brook. They're not named to mention other fighters from the PBC. So why not mention Wilder?
Kell Brook is not anti-HBO or anti-show. It's not anti-HBO.
But they also mentioned welterweights within the PBC. That's my point.
Which ones did they mention?
Thurman. They mentioned Thurman. They mentioned Porter. They mentioned Errol Spence.
Garcia.
I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe
Danny Garcia as well. So that argument, that's not a valid argument in my opinion.
My second argument.
Okay.
But
my second argument to be why it could be that the second argument definitely is a race-related one, which would be because Wilder does not conform to a specific stereotype. I mean, you see Wilder, what do you see Wilder every time you see him on TV? You see him with his little girl. You see a black father who cares about his daughter. Very rare according to TV. Rare according to TV, right? Not reality, but you know, when you look at all these other fighters, you don't see them with their kids like you see Wilder with his kid all the time. So maybe he doesn't conform to a certain stereotype, and so he gets backlash due to that.
I don't know about that.
It's not even that. Hakeem, it's not even that, man. It's not even that, but
Hakeem, I need to ask you, brother. How is Jennings better than Stavern on a resume?
Hold on a second. I got the police around me. I can't be on the phone. I can't respond. I'm in downtown LA, man. They will pull me out the car.
You deal with that cutback, bro. Get EJ into this. EJ and Dale, what's your thoughts on this? Unmute your mic, fellas. Dale, EJ.
Niggas sleep.
Yo, Hakeem, I want to ask Hakeem something, man.
Yo, keep talking. Please just roll by. Keep
Yeah,
talking.
that's why I say he got that situation. So
okay,
he's
you got your little situation there. All right, no problem. I'll let it slide.
No, it's good. He drove fast. No, you gotta let it slide.
Propaganda against black men.
Keem got 5-0 on his neck.
Nah, man. You know if you pull your phone out, they pull you over. So I'm trying to be pulled over. Beats. Holla at me. I'm listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is Bryant Jennings better than Stavern on the resume?
What has Stavern done to be better than Brian Jennings? Brian Jennings beat Mike Perez. Who did Stavern beat? An old fat ass. I'm sorry, not old. Fat Areola, who was overhyped and only beat McBride, I think, or whoever he beat. So what makes Stavern better than Brian Jennings? Brian Jennings with Klitschko. Brian Jennings down there with Klitschko made him work the whole night.
No, he didn't.
Before he fought Fury. So how is Jennings? How is Stavern better than Jennings? I think the
let me tell you. Let me answer.
The case of evidence should be for.
You want me
go
to
on.
reply?
No, sorry. Go on.
Okay.
Go on.
He won two.
Yeah, go on.
He had to fight 2 eliminators to get his WBC belt, and he was a champion. What belts does Jennings have?
Who did he fight? Who eliminators did he fight? That was better than Mike Perez.
What do you mean who he fought better than Mike? Deontay Wilder.
Who did Stavern fight?
Deontay Wilder.
No, who did? I'm not saying.
He lost his belt because he had to fight Deontay Wilder. That's why he lost his belt.
Yeah. He would have lost the belt if he fought Brian Jennings. I'm saying that. I'm not saying that Brian Jennings is better than Wilder. I'm saying how is Mike Perez? How is Stavern better than Mike Perez? Because I think Mike Perez beats Stavern. I think Brian Jennings beats Stavern.
Who's Mike Perez beat then?
Mike Perez ain't gonna beat no Stavern. He's the one that Alexander knocked out in the first round, right? Little short, stocky arm dude.
He got short, stocky arms, but he
ain't beat nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he pushed Brian Jennings though because he's crafty. He pushed Brian Jennings, but because he's crafty. But when he got in there with Sasha, he got knocked out in the first round.
Yeah, Jennings ain't beating no Stavern, bro.
Okay, so you're saying Stavern would have lasted as long against Klitschko as Brian Jennings would? You said Klitschko would have knocked out Stavern?
I'm with him, man. I think Jennings is better than Stavern.
Like, is this a joke? He beat Areola. You guys remember, this is Areola he beat for a belt. I mean, it's not his fault.
Areola don't even train, man. He don't even train.
He did what he was supposed to do. He's a champion. I'll give him that respect. He did what he's supposed to do. I mean, he can't pick his opponents. That's the conventioning body's choices. But at the same time, he did beat Areola for the belt.
Berman Stavern is a better puncher than Bryant Jennings.
He knocked him out twice. Even that big ass nose.
I agree with him though. I think Jennings is better than Stavern.
There's no way that Stavern is better than Jennings.
Look at Stavern's last fight. He looked terrible.
Yeah, it's because Wilder ruined him. That's why. That's what Wilder does to careers, bro.
Come on.
Wilder ruined him.
Beats. That's called Don King. That is called Don King.
Dehydrated some shit. He was sick. They said that man was in the hospital with pissing blood and some shit.
And Luis Ortiz had the flu, and Luis Ortiz had the flu, right? I mean, either way, it don't matter. You lose a fight, you lose a fight. And he didn't lose a fight easily. He lost the fight badly. Arthur Spilka did better against Wilder than Stavern did. So is Stavern not as good as Spilka?
Dale was wanting to say something. You was wanting to say something, Dale? Unmute your mic, Dale.
Yeah, Chris Areola's career ain't shit. I mean, the only guy I give him credit beating is Nagy Aguilera, a guy Huey Fury is about to fight. So yeah, I mean that's.
You gonna knock him out?
Yeah, he beat his ass in 3 rounds 5 years ago.
Wasn't Seth Mitchell unbeaten when my guy turned him over? No, he wasn't actually. Jonathan Baxter.
Seth Mitchell, oh my God.
Damn.
I'm reaching.
Yeah, you are. Don't break that man. This kind of discussion again, PC. That's a reach, bro. I had to get Mitchell on that.
Jonathan Banks beat him.
What I was going to say is, Jim Lampley was told to discredit Deontay Wilder, but I think Jim Lampley don't like Deontay Wilder, so it is what it is. And Luis Ortiz, he about to fuck up Brad Pulev did. Other than that, I'm looking for a potential Browning versus Ortiz fight by the end of this year.
Let's move on. Let's move on and talk about the undercard here, because I have to say it that I got to eat some crow here. I've been talking a whole lot about Jesse Vargas, and not in a positive manner. But in his fight with Saddam Ali for the vacant WBO belt that was taken from Tim Bradley, Vargas he did the job. I thought Vargas was slightly ahead here, heading into the 9th round. Vargas stopped him in the 9th round, put him down 3 times, I believe. But Vargas, to me, he proved to be the stronger guy. He proved to be the harder puncher. I think his punches had a harder effect on Ali than Ali's did on Vargas. And again, he's the new champion, and I have to tip my hat to him. Since EJ is muting everybody here, I'm gonna go to him first. Unmute your mic, bruh. I
wanted to weigh in on that fight too when you get a chance.
Okay. First you, EJ, and then you, Shady. Your thoughts on Jesse Vargas, because you was picking him all along.
Hey, listen, bro. We trying like half an hour to get in there, boy. So, when I get in there, I don't want to hear no feedback. So if I'm muting you, it's because you get feedback. And yeah, I'm gonna glow on it. And I did told you Jesse's gonna beat him. You're not only gonna beat him, you're gonna whoop his ass easy. But you know what? Actually, looking at the fight was actually a bit more competitive than that. That I actually thought initially. And but I knew Jesse would win. And the reason why I had Jesse winning is I went through his resume, and his resume, he's been fighting the very best. Undefeated Jose Lopez, he was the first guy to put L on his record, and he's the first guy to put L on what's his name? Thingy Omatusu, Lucky Boy Omatusu's record. Tim Bradley fight, yeah, he probably got a couple of rounds, but he floored Tim Bradley. That's quite impressive as well. And some other fights, Khabib fight another guy. So he's fighting the very best in each weight class he's been at. Now you go to Saddam Ali, and I didn't see the same. So it was simple for me. It was very easy to me to say, well, Vargas gonna beat it because he's been in the better class, and that's what he did. He did, bro. He put it on him and took him out, and all the other stuff with Jesse Vargas, like his decisions backwards and forwards. If you look at some of the fights, yeah, they could have gone either way, but he got the decision and he moves on. But look at the people he's rolled with. Roy Jones has been in his corner. Roy Jones was in his corner. He came up for Roger Mayweather up in Vegas. He's been through some real good, had some real good trainers, had some real good camps, and finally all the experience kicked in, and it was just way too much, overwhelming for the young Saddam Ali, and that's why I picked him. He don't come down when I'm picking a fighter, man. I ain't got no bias. I'm gonna tell you straight how it is, man. Resume. Look who they fought. How did they do in their last fight? And Vargas was pissed off what happened with him in the Bradley fight. So someone was gonna get it, and it turned out to be Saddam Ali. So I have to pat myself on the back and say, you know what, EJ, you're nice. You know your boxers, so I'm good. I also put Tyson Fury to beat Vladimir Klitschko. I'm gonna get that one as well. So, and Ronda Rousey and Holly Holmes to beat Ronda Rousey. So I'm gonna keep going on. So I'm on a roll. So that's what I have to say.
I'm gonna go to Shady, and then go to the ladies, Doodle Brown and Gail. Your impressions of the fighting and Jesse Vargas' performance.
You just want a cookie or something.
Go ahead, Shady.
Oh yeah, yeah. My channel, I picked Jesse Vargas, and the reason I picked Vargas, you gotta look at the experience factor. Nothing prepares you for a fight more than experience. He fought a guy like Tim Bradley, and we can say that Jesse Vargas is an undefeated fighter when you look at the way that Bradley fight went down. He knocked Tim Bradley out with about 10 seconds left, and the ref came in and stopped it. We don't know what would have happened in them 8 to 10 seconds. So I knew.
I don't know about that.
Hold up, let me finish what I'm saying. We don't know what would have happened had Vargas been allowed to finish that fight. So you going into this fight with Saddam Ali. I wanted Saddam Ali to win, but I knew he wasn't going to win. You going into this fight with Ali, you already pissed off with what happened with Bradley. So, and Saddam Ali had never been in a big fight like this, fighting a guy like Bradley or Vargas. So I knew that was going against him, man. That's why I picked Vargas to win, but I didn't know he was going to dominate. So good call by EJ, man. And picking that Tyson Fury fight. I definitely wouldn't have picked that one. But I knew Vargas was going to win. I picked Vargas to win. That's my thoughts on it.
Doodoo Brown, Gail.
I picked Vargas because he gave Bradley a tough fight. That's the only reason. But when the first couple fights, Saddam was doing really good. I mean, I was like, oh, shit, I picked the wrong motherfucker. I was like, oh, damn. And then he started coming on. I was like, oh, okay. That's it.
This was really a 50-50 fight, so I don't think any of us who picked the wrong guy should feel too bad about it. And good for Vargas. You know, he has gone through a lot of trainers. He's called guys out. He's still got a real hard-on for Bradley. Now he wants the winner of Bradley Pacquiao, and I think he's hoping it's Bradley and not Pacquiao just because he wants his revenge. But, you know, it looks like from the last fight and this one, he's finally found the formula. He's finally found a way to marshal some power. It's working for him. Good for him. You know, he was elated with this victory, and he should be. And this opens a lot of doors for him. It's all good. I was very amused this week to see that Top Rank, you know, they've got him front and center on their page. They're super excited about him. And they're even running a new contest to pick a new nickname for him. I don't know what prize they're giving away, but they're looking for fan suggestions for a new nickname. So I think the Power for Power board has to come up with one because we could win that thing. I'll figure out something.
I'll go to you, Beats, and then you, Daniel and Hakim. Talk about the fight and talk about in terms of the future of Jesse Vargas, as well as Saddam Ali, because I don't think, look, it wasn't like Saddam Ali, he just got beat from pillar to post all fight long. I think he can come back. But I also think he needs some new trainers, maybe change camps, move somewhere else, because it was obvious that the class and experience that Jesse Vargas showed throughout the fight.
Well, I'm going to say it like this, yeah? Jesse was rolling with Broner and, you know, probably a lot of amped up cheerleaders. And sometimes they make you believe that you're something that you're not.
That's Saddam Ali, not Jesse.
I mean Saddam. Sorry. Yeah, you're right, AJ. Right? And sometimes it makes you believe that you're something that you're not. And it's very dangerous in boxing for young fighters. Young fighters need to be grounded, and they need to know exactly what level they're on. Yeah? So unless he humbles himself, the comeback is going to be very difficult. Yeah? And Jesse, you could see, like, the jab to the body. I don't know if anyone saw the jab to the body he was using. He got that out of the Mayweather camp because that stabilizes movers. You know what I'm saying? You know, you cut. It's hard to reset and get your punches off, and he done a grand job in there. But I will say this though, he needs to enjoy that evening because the rest of the 147 pounders at the top end are going to be way better prepared for battle. If you put Jesse in with even that Chavez, if Chavez is trained, he's going to give him a war. He's got a good chance of beating him too. So he should enjoy his evening, but it will depend if he can take some momentum off this and go further. We'll see. I'll have to see the next fight and who he fights before
Okay. So as of right now, you still have him on the bottom tier, if you will. Below the Thurmans, the Brooks, the Bradleys, the Pacquiaos.
No. He's got that's a big win. That's a big win. So, you know, he deserves a good position amongst the top 10. But I need to see another fight against another guy a little above Saddam Ali to see if it's real.
Okay. Okay. First you, Daniel, then Hakim, then Dill.
All right. Well, the way I broke this fight was before the knockdown and after the knockdown. Because before the knockdown, that fight was pretty even. You could tell that Jesse Vargas was trying to throw the harder punches, but the more crisper combinations early on were at least coming from Ali. But he has this tendency, like Matt Kellerman noted, that he said it was a little bit like a swag fighter. He threw combinations and then he stepped back to admire his work a little bit when he should have been probably pushing a little bit more. But that fight was pretty even. When you look at the stats, they threw the exact same percentage and landed the same exact percentage of power shots. The only difference was that Saddam Ali only threw 2 less. But after the knockdown, you can tell. You could tell that he was hurt and he didn't recover even with that minute coming apart. So you gotta give props to Jesse Vargas for that. He may have found finally a trainer in a style that actually suits him better. As for the future, that's pretty murky because the only fight that you can say you can really do when it comes to unification right now is Kell Brook. Because Kell Brook is still technically a free agent when it comes to the U.S. But everybody else, let's see, Thurman is still going to be tied to Porter. And we all know how Danny Garcia does his business thanks to his dad. So that's going to be pretty murky. So he's probably going to try to go after Bradley. Saddam Ali, I'm probably going to say, is probably take 6 months off, try to rebuild back up. He's going to have to do it the same way that Amir Imam is going to have to do it, which is probably going to get 2 or 3 really good fights, but it has to be against good competition before being ready for a title shot again, because to J. Dill's credit, I remember him saying it. That this was the first fight, 12-rounder, that Saddam Ali fought. So he may not have been completely ready for that spotlight yet, even though before that knockdown, it was a pretty even fight.
Hakim, if you got the popo off your back, man, unmute your mic, man.
Yeah, no, I got the phone on my back. I'm on the freeway now. What's the name? Jesse Vargas to me was just a better man that night. I was definitely going for Saddam Ali, without a shadow of a doubt. But Saddam Ali really made me mad during the fight. I felt like he just wasn't defensively responsible. He seemed to keep getting hit with the same punch all night by Jesse Vargas. And
that right hand.
Yeah,
and which was, to Beats' points, was set up by that jab to the body.
Yeah, exactly. And what made me mad was that Saddam Ali, and I noticed that too, Beats, he seemed too cocky. He seemed as if he knew he was the better fighter, but it was not showing in the ring that he was the better fighter. Yep. He may have been the better boxer, but he was not the better fighter. And it just really showed. He kept his hands down for most of the fight. At least not where they should have been at. He didn't keep him down, but he definitely kept him not protecting his face because he kept getting hit with that right hand. I was warning when he was going to make an adjustment, just wouldn't make an adjustment, wouldn't even try to block a right hand. I mean, there was no attempt to show any type of responsibility for the right hand. It was just ridiculous. Yep. He was doing nothing at all. Corner looked like he gave him no instructions. I mean, it's one thing to get hit with the same punch, maybe for 1 or 2 rounds. He kept getting hit over and over with the same punch. And every time I want to score a round for him, I mean, power sometimes really is all you need for the equalizer. And it'd be one punch, and a punch would just nullify everything Saddam Ali did. And I just couldn't give a round to somebody who's getting hit with punches that hard. I think Jesse Vargas would have beat him 10 out of 10 times. He just would.
You don't think? Let me ask you a follow-up right quick. You don't think that a possible move out of his base in New York, sparring and folks that he put it with, you don't think a possible step up in sparring and a change of scenery and a change of trainers wouldn't change anything for Saddam Ali?
I thought about the trainer thing, but then again, I forgot who I was listening to on a podcast, but there definitely is a toughness issue with Saddam Ali, and I felt that when I saw it. I felt that he just wasn't tough enough.
Saddam Ali fights guys his size. Some of the tricks that he does won't work. He struggled against Francisco Santana. He was even Steven with a former belt holder, Jesse Vargas, now champion. And what happened was he kept on getting hit with that same looping right hand. And it was just fucking him up time after time. And he was just fighting on his back foot, but his defense became more and more porous. He was just using his feet to become his defense, but he kept keeping his arms low, his left hand low, and he was just keep on getting hit with shots. He thought his reflexes were going to help him. He thought that Pretty Ricky bullshit was going to help him, but it didn't help him. And at the end of the day, man, I found what the ref did was a bit shiesty, and I felt like he got a little bit too many privileges. Maybe it's some golden boy shit, but all I know is Saddam Ali, he needs to get back on the drawing board. Hopefully him and Aaron Martinez can get it on. And then hopefully he could fight Bundu. I like to see him also fight a guy like a Bundu, somebody who's tough, somebody who's game, and somebody who's not predictable. And
Bundu, I think he loses to Bundu, man. It's not really he loses to Bundu in my eyes.
Either way, it just tells us. It'll just tell us what level Saddam Ali is really on, and that's what I'm saying.
That's too stiff for him, J Dills, right now. That's too stiff for him.
So what level opponent should he try to strive for then, Beats?
Straight away, he needs to come outside the top 10 and he needs some gym work. He needs to get away from them guys pumping him up and saying, you know, you're gonna beat this guy easy, and then maybe towards the end of the year, Bundu, but not straight away. You know, not straight away.
All
right. Let's talk about this HBO card was happening with the Showtime cards, but really the Showbox card, if you ask me. Headline of that Showbox card was J. Rock Williams fighting a guy by the name of Marcelo Montano. I mean, to me, he looked like, as I said over the weekend, he looked like Paulie D from the Jersey Shore, or a poor man's David Lemieux. Take your pick. But this was easy work for Julian Williams, who kind of went outside of his comfort zone, started calling Jamar Charlo out, and the rest of the junior middleweight landscape calling them folks out. Been a while since you talked, Beats. Talk about your impressions of J-Rock. I thought he was kind of half-assing it a bit. He didn't fight, just like Luis Ortiz, in my opinion. J-Rock, he didn't fight he didn't bring his A game because he knew he didn't need his A game in order to take this guy out. Your impressions of him, and your impressions are, again, going outside of his comfort zone, calling out Charlo, dismissing all the big names at the 154-pound division.
You see, I've been watching this thing a long time, and I've noticed with the modern day African American fighters, man, like, you know, there's a lot of talk J-Rock and Tony Harrison, and it seems all a lot of bluster. I'm not sure until I see him beat someone I recognize. I ain't really got much to say on the dude, you know. He's got a lot of headlines, but what's he did? What has he did? Exactly. You know what I mean? Like I look at his skill set. What separates him from, you know, a lot of other junior middleweights? What separates him? You know? I mean, I thought Charlo was going to be, not Charlo, Andrade. Andrade just gone missing. So right now, I don't think the same application is being met by the African American fighters today. And, you know, like James Ali Bashir will tell you, I think the gyms ain't old school enough. I think these guys, they're know-it-alls. They watch a lot of stuff on YouTube and they think they invented the wheel. So I don't know. I don't know how grounded these guys are. I don't know.
I'll go to you, Gail, and then you, Daniel. Daniel and Shady, your impressions on J-Rock, and speak to what Beats was saying about American fighters, African American fighters specifically, and then you can follow up. You can follow up Dill as well.
I'd hate to lump a whole category of fighters in a pile like that. I do think Williams did what he had to do and no more. And, you know, we all have days like that. You know, we've all been to the gym on days that, you know, you just barely get through. You get through it. There's no real reason for it. You're not injured. You're not tired. You know, all of that. And things just, you know, don't go well for you. They're just ugly. And then there's other days you get in there and you just kill it. You're making personal records right and left. You've got all the energy in the world. You know, was that what was the former what I described, the kind of night Williams had? Was that the reason? You know, it was just not quite firing on all cylinders. You know, a spark plug was off. Who knows? But then, you know, you really shouldn't be going and backing that up with a lot of calling guys out because it makes you look a little stupid. You know the difference whether you've had a good night or a bad night. And I'm not saying you have to, you know, wallow in apologies or own it or anything like that, but at the other end, you don't start, you know, portraying yourself as all that. So I'm going to write it off to maybe not his best night. But these guys anymore, if they're not fighting several times a year, they have to make the most of every opportunity. No matter how bad you feel or what else has gone wrong, or you had a fight with somebody, girlfriend or whatever outside the ring, or you lost some money. Who knows what kind of stuff affects you, but you need to make those opportunities count, and that wasn't it. And I put him in a different category than what we just talked about regarding Luis Ortiz, because Ortiz has shown he can do it. So you can make an argument that, hey, he doesn't need to waste a lot of effort on a guy like Tony Thompson. Williams isn't in that category yet, in my opinion, so he needs to make sure that people see him at his best at this point of his career. If he wants to skate later on his reputation, he can, but he doesn't have that reputation yet.
Dale,
Mike,
Daniel, and then
here, Mike. Just before, right? I didn't actually see the fight, so don't know if he performed badly or not. I didn't actually see the fight, but
okay.
I'm just not.
I ain't even see that fight either, man. Because when I turned back, they had went to the Leo Center.
Hello.
Go ahead, Dale.
All right, that fight was boring. That fight was lackluster. Williams had to do what he had to do, but at the end of the day, that guy needs to stay active. He needs to have like 3 or 4 displays before he calls out somebody legitimate in that division. And I know guys like Austin Trout has ducked him, or whatever you want to call it, but Austin Trout has guys in 154 division, so I can't say much about that. But the Charlos, Williams, and Andrade, they all want these Canelos and Cottos, but Canelo and Cotto ain't trying to fight you. They trying to fight one another. So these guys.
Mute me, motherfucker.
Say what?
I ain't talking to you. Talk EJ ass up there, mute motherfucker. Like ass all in UK trying to control some shit.
I muted because you was giving feedback to J Bill, so okay, stay on mute.
I mute my own goddamn self, nigga.
You giving feedback to when he was talking, he was echoing. So if you want to stay on mute, then carry on.
All right, let me speed this up then. I just want to see, since the heavyweights are stepping it up, and since hell even 126, them guys stepping up a little bit. Can we at least see somebody in the 154 division step it up some more as well? Like, can I see Charlo versus Andrade, or can I see Harrison versus Williams? I just want to see some fights where guys could separate themselves and they'll stop talking about their potential and their talent. They're getting older. They're almost in their 30s. So it is what it is with that. And that's all I got to say.
Well, the one guy that I didn't hear him or any other junior middleweights are talking about right now, Erislandy Lara, and I'll just leave it at that.
And here's my part, Erislandy Lara. Yes, it is the Lara division. That's all 154 is. It's just the Lara division. There is no real people beyond that. Just him. That's all. That's all I want to say.
Daniel, then you, Doodoo Brown.
Pretty much, I kind of agree with everybody else. J-Rock just pretty much did what he had to do. Matano tried to make it a little bit dirty, but you pretty much knew who the better fight, you knew who was going to win that fight. And yeah, the post-fight interview was a little bit hilarious. Remember, he classified pretty much the whole division turkeys for coming into it, and I don't blame him neither, because like I said, Austin Trout avoided him. I think him and Modest Mount Erosion are going to have another podcast where they're going to argue about who ducked who in that one. But at the end of the day, like we expected this from J-Rock. We expected him to win. And we expected him. Now he's going to be mandatory for one of the Charlos. It's Jamal, I think.
Yes.
But now we just have to see if Jamal Charlo will actually step up and now take that fight, because lately they've been saying I can't make the weight. I may have to go up to 160. And to agree with Hakim on a certain point, the division pretty much now, based on class right now, is Erislandy Lara to lose. because nobody wants to fight him. Andre ruined himself because he decided that he valued himself too much to Jay Dill's to one of the fights that Jay Dill wanted to see, Charlo versus Andre. What did Andre do? He priced himself out afterwards, after they agreed to the fight. And so he did that a lot to himself. So right now it's pretty much Lara's division. Because as far as actual talent in the class, he's probably the best one right now. Among that class. Whether he moves up to middleweight or not, that's going to be a different issue.
You mentioned Lara Hakim. Well, let me just yeah, Doodoo Brown, you hadn't had a chance to speak on this. Unmute your mic, ma'am. We're talking J. Rock Williams and that fight over the weekend. Your impressions of J. Rock Julian Williams, as well as him calling out everybody in the 154-pound division. You got your mic muted. Unmute your mic, Doodoo Brown. Doodoo Brown?
Sorry. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
See, EJ fuck my shit up, man. Don't be fuck with my shit, EJ. No, I like him calling people out. Shit. Spice it up. You feel me? Did you know what I was doing for the last fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, we never wrote him. Call them all out. Shit. Ain't nobody. Charlo ain't fought. The twins, they ain't fought in a minute. Boo Boo ain't fought in a minute. Call them all out. Shit.
Well, speaking of Charlo, do you think we will see Julian Williams? And this is for everybody. Do you think we'll see Charlo fight Julian Williams? I believe they will. I believe the fight will happen. I just don't see why it will not. I don't see an excuse why that fight should not happen. But this is for everybody. Do you think we will see that fight specifically?
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen. They gotta fight each other eventually. It's gonna happen.
That's right.
It's gonna happen if they want a name. I mean, you gotta fight.
You kind of went in and out. What you were saying, Hakim?
Oh, my bad. I was saying that given the fact that they're really nobodies, in my opinion, that they got to fight themselves to get themselves propelled forward if they want to make some money, notarize any type of platform within boxing. That, and if Charlo moves up, who is he going to fight? I mean, it's not like he's in a good position to win any fights at middleweight. So I think they're definitely going to fight. I mean, it's just the best fight for both their careers. It's kind of like a Sean Porter-Thurman effect. They had to fight each other eventually, and this is going to be the same thing.
Let's move on and talk about this undercard. I can't even announce this guy's name. Advidil, whatever. He's from the Republic of Georgia. Bottom line is he came up out of nowhere, seemingly, and upset Antoine Douglas in arguably the fight of the weekend. If anybody want to jump in and chime in on that, I know you were talking EJ over. He's still around. I don't think he's around anymore. But
EJ dropped off. He dropped off.
Okay, but he was talking about the style of the Georgian fighter, was just the style that not only Douglas hadn't seen and wasn't used to, but it was a style that a lot of fighters do not fight today. So anybody want to speak on that and speak of the style of the fighter?
Yeah, he was fighting like Mike Tyson. If you look at him, he had the shorts on. The look like a little Mike Tyson. I was like, oh shit. When I was watching the fight, I said, damn, Douglas ain't fought nobody like this before, you know. And he couldn't handle it. The dude was a veteran, he was hungry, and he wanted that belt. He was gonna go through him no matter what. And the kid's still young, you feel me? He's still coming up through the ranks, you know what I'm saying? He just got out of off showbox. So he couldn't deal with that guy's pressure at all. But he showed a lot of heart. He showed a lot of heart, and that's just a learning curve for him.
But my concern is, if I can comment later, Douglas, he took so much punishment in that fight, such a physical toll on him. It's one thing for a guy to get starched early, like Baldo Jack did. My concern with Douglas is that he took so much punishment in that fight. I wonder if he's going to fully recover from that kind of beating, not just mental, but psyche as well. Anybody can comment. Unmute your mic, folks.
Yeah, that I kind of have to agree there, Mike, because unfortunately, Douglas had to be safe of himself in that fight. He wasn't going to go out on his own. And his corner, for some reason, did not see the fact that right after round 8, he was pretty much done. But I got to give props to the kid. He helped. He did maintain. He did try to fight back, and he did land some combinations. But the funny thing about this, and I think that Miguel pointed me out on Sunday, this was supposed to be Sam Solomon. Sam Solomon got hurt. That's how Cressida got this fight. And it's truly a case where the substitute is a tougher test than the guy you were supposed to fight. But it may be a good lesson for Douglas because now he knows that there are fighters like this who are going to come and pressure you no matter what. It doesn't matter that you have a reach advantage, height advantage, or skill advantage. They're just going to come in and try to bulldoze you no matter what, which is what Cressida did. At a certain point, he just didn't stop. I think one of the commentators, Steve Farhart, mentioned, I think around the 10th round, that Cressida was landing so many shots, he was just looking at the ref saying, hey, you got to stop this because he's not stopping. Like, Douglas is not going down, he's not stopping. And ultimately, I said Douglas did go down, but it's a good learning experience for Douglas, though. He's going to have to learn now that, okay, I may not have been ready for this type of style, but I got to get ready soon. I'm still 23 years old. I can still recover from this. Fully recover, I don't know. I'm agree with you there, Mike, because it's really, really hard to recover from that type of beating.
I see you're back, EJ. I'll mute your mic. I was mentioning how I was listening to you guys over the weekend, and you was talking about this Antoine Douglas fight against Kurtziev, and you was mentioning how Douglas wasn't used to the style that the Georgian fighter fought, who fought like a little mini Mike Tyson. Let me finish. But you was making also a larger argument about how up-and-coming fighters in general today, they do a poor job of training for all kinds of styles, and you saw an example of this in this fight. Speak on it right quick.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, I thought you saw the fight.
No, I didn't see it. I haven't seen it. I was not. I haven't seen the fight.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
What I want to know, was this Antoine Douglas meant to be somebody? Because everybody's making a big deal that he got beat up. Was he meant to be somebody?
Given the fact that he was going to fight Sam Solomon, who was just a champion not too long ago, my answer to that would be yes.
If he won this fight, he might have become the mandatory for Billy Joe Saunders, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was being touted. So anybody else want to comment on this fight with Douglas losing, getting upset?
You know, these young guys do have to be protected from themselves. They want to give it their all. I appreciate that, but I never, ever second-guess a referee stopping a fight. And I want them to stop. I want them to stop it too early instead of too late. And the problem is they take so much heat from the fans in particular. They hear it. They know when the fans are getting on their case. Oh, you stopped it. Oh, you shouldn't have stopped it. I never publicly criticize a referee for stopping a fight, because you get into a situation like this and they think, well, you know, he wants to keep going and everybody's enjoying it and I want to give him a chance and he's a young guy. But at the end, yeah, there's a long life after boxing for all these guys, and we know too much about head injuries now to really let that stuff go down like that. And once you get past 2/3 of the way through the fight, if you in your heart believe the guy isn't capable of a knockout at that point against his opponent and he's that far down on the cards, you need to stop the fight. Should have been stopped 2 rounds earlier.
Well, I saw highlights of the fight. He didn't take no worse beating than Archie Moore did against Yvonne Durrell, and Archie turned that around. Boxers, that's what they're there for. They're there to fight and take punishment, and the reason it is the phenomenon, the spectacle it is because it is risky. It is a near-death experience at times. That's the whole point, you know. So I don't agree that you can't openly critique referees. That some referees stop the fight too early, and that's the truth. Some do stop the fight too early.
I'd rather they do that than stop it too late. You know, that's somebody's son, brother, husband out there, and it's unnecessary. You know, these guys are fighting. These guys are fighting for our entertainment. Let's not make it anything more. They are fighting for our entertainment. I don't want someone dying for my entertainment. I appreciate what they do. They're trying to earn a living, but that it is not unnecessary. You know, in 5 or 10 or 20 years from now, is it going to matter to you? No. Is it going to matter to me? No. Is it going to matter to him if he's all messed up from it? You bet it is.
He's going to be okay. I got him on my page, Facebook page.
We hope so, but we don't know. Look what we've learned about football players.
CTE.
That's right. We are not going to know whether he's right with himself for 20 years.
Actually, until he's dead. They can't figure out until they're dead. They pull the brain out.
That's absolutely right. And this was not, if this was the fight of the century, if this was the pinnacle of someone's career, I could make another argument for letting it go. This is a young guy. This was, in the scheme of things, not a big fight. Absolutely unnecessary to let someone take that punishment.
I think it comes down to...
for what was a few $1,000s. Ridiculous.
I think it comes down to how much blood and how much pain do we really want to see. And sometimes that side of us as human beings can get very ugly. And I think boxing shows that when people want to have a fight stop too early, they get mad. But like you said, at the end of the day, no one wants to talk like Hitman Hearns later on in life. But at the end of the day, Beats is right that you did sign up for a punishment and you knew, boxing has contracts. You know what you get into when you go in that ring. If you die, you are only the person liable for that decision. So, but there has to be a line drawn, and sometimes it's the referee's job to make sure that line is drawn. And, I'd rather be a referee who started the fight early than be a referee who quit my job because the person died in the ring.
Absolutely right. And let's remember, a guy in that condition is in no position to make a judgment about himself, whether he can go forward or not. That's the whole point of having a referee, of having a ringside physician, and all the protections in place. Because sometimes you do have to protect a guy from himself. And that is the situation.
90% of ambitious boxers don't know when it's soon enough to stop, because they go in there to fight and win, and they're prepared to put their body through the motion of that. That's the whole point,
And we do love that. We love that attitude.
They say to make an omelet, you have to crack a few shells. Even if you stop fights early, fighters are going to be talking like Hitman Hearns or like Terry Norris, because it's punches to the head, basically. So,
well, you're not going to solve this argument tonight, but I would argue that is not necessary. It's not.
Okay.
But I agree with Beats on one point, that there is definitely a way to delay the progression and like you're saying, as far as referee stop the fight. But Beats is right. They did a study on boxers, and 100% had CTE. That's the highest, higher than football. They're going to get CTE regardless. And that's not going to stop, us from watching boxing. Nor is it going to stop football, who took a religious day for Christians. Okay, so nothing's going to change.
It depends who it is, though, because when it's Margarito getting a beating, everyone's for it when he lost his eye. Yeah, man, beat him up. Let Cotto beat him up. Let Pacquiao take out his eye. That's all right, because he's supposed to be cheating. Or what about Jesse Vargas if he lost the fight the weekend? That would have been all right if he got beat down as well. So it depends on the person. If we like the fight out there, it's like, it's really bad. But we dislike the fight. He got what he deserved. People need to be like this, you know what I mean? End of the day, it is what it is.
My problem with that argument is that...
1 minute, Michael. You go in there, you know what you go in there for, and depending if you got a crook referee like that guy from Texas, you know what I'm talking about, that, that referee, that thingy's son. What's his name?
Is it Vic something? Not Vic.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking. Yeah, if you get him as a referee, you know someone's gonna get killed in there. So boxing, you never know what you're gonna get. That's what I'll say. Go ahead, Michael.
I was going to say, I don't know if Margarito is a good argument, particularly now, given what we know the issues that he has. You saw that fight. I don't want to talk about that fight with Pius. But you saw how Margarito.
It's a good fight. I was one of the guys. I enjoyed that fight. I'd recommend.
Look, man, one of his eyes looked. It looked way too big, and the other one looked way too small. If we know he has damage, and for him to take that kind of punishment, I don't know if I want to see that.
Henry Armstrong fought. What's his name again? What's that middleweight guy that won years ago with one eye? Loads of fighters fought with one eye, man. That's
you talking about Sugar Ray Seals?
I'm not talking about it. Harry Greb. Harry Greb fought with one eye. Loads of fighters, man. That's what it is. That's what they go in there for. Yeah. Margarito's got he's got bills. That's the only way he knows how to make money. And I'm guaranteed that was a very good fight against Price, Jorge Price Jr. Man, that was a very entertaining fight, man. Trust me, bro. But I'm just trying to say, this is what it is. They're gonna fight with one eye. They're gonna go in. That's how they are, man. They're fighters. They'll go into the arms drop off. That's what Roy Jones is still continuing his career. Like,
Roy Jones is showing significant signs of CTE.
No, I'm just
significant signs of CTE.
Nah, he's a fighter at heart. They will continue. It's too much. But what I'm trying to say, they will continue until someone saves them from themselves. Evander Holyfield will still try and fight now, but no one will give him a license. So that's what I'm saying, man.
And you see, the thing is, right, that when you see a fighter take a bad beating, you might not want to hear it, but it's a template for young fighters. When you see Denis Lebedev take that beating against Guillermo Jones, it's showing the young fighter, this is what you're going to have to push yourself through. Do you really want to do this? You know? And Lebedev was glad to do it because he didn't want to let the Russian crowd down. The Russian crowd didn't want the fight stopped because they wanted the Russian guy to win. This is the pain game, man. This is where it's coming from. This is the lineage of gladiatorial stuff that used to happen in the Roman Empire days, man. This is what it is. You know?
But again, but to his point about Margarito, difference is Margarito's up there in age. Douglas is 23 years old. So he's young enough and strong enough to recover. You cannot say that about a Margarito who's fighting now and taking beatings like this and in tough fights like this.
I was talking about the comparison there is like we don't know what he's gonna. You're assuming that we don't know how much mental damage it takes. Like that's what I'm saying. Margarito's mentally strong. This guy's a young guy and he took a beating. Let's see what he does next. We don't know. He might say, you know what, you Victor Ortiz. You know what? I don't need to be beaten up no more. I might retire. You don't know. You don't never know, man. But all it is, he got tested at that level when he didn't like it. Let's see what he does next.
Yeah, let's move on. And I was going to talk about some more fights, but the show is running kind of long here. So let's get into some news development. In talking about Luis Ortiz, it was mentioned that Deontay Wilder-Povetkin fight coming up. Well, we now know that fight is going to happen in Russia. I believe BC was mentioned in that fight. A lot of back and forth among the YTBC. Whether if the fight would land in Russia, would Wilder take the fight? He indeed has. I think this speaks a lot to him. To me, if he was going to fight anyway, regardless, eventually at the end of the day, because you just won the belt, you're not going to give it up. So speak to the fact that one, we're going to see the fight, and two, we're going to see the fight in Russia, Beast.
Look, man, he won that belt for his daughter. He ain't giving up that belt. People wanted him to give it up. I don't know what it is about Wilder. People are almost willing him to come into existence that he can't fight. No, he can fight. He's one of the biggest heavyweight punchers. He's going over to Russia. He's going to prepare well with Dees and Breland, and he's going to knock Povetkin out. And like I said, they better have good security because the Russian crowd is not going to like what's going to happen. They're not going to like it. Wilder was never scared to go there. Never. He ain't scared of no heavyweight. Why should he be?
Yep, that's right. Tell him.
Sasha gets inside of him, he will knock him out. He will capitalize like everybody else that got inside of him and popped him and kind of threw him off for a loop, but they really couldn't capitalize on hitting him, hurting him. Sasha's going to capitalize on him if he gets inside of him. But if he keeps him on the outside, yeah, I can see him getting knocked down and possibly knocked out. But if he gets inside, Jack, it's over. I'm telling you. And you heard it from Dewey Brown.
Man, I'm American, and I'm going for my American heavyweight, man. We had one in a long time. I think I'll be happy with Wilder. I'll be damned if I go against him, man. America, that's all I got to say. America, all right?
Wilder go to Russia and pull his off. We got to call him the Black Rocky if he pull his off in Russia.
We don't call him the Black Cold War, man. He going over there to fight the Cold War for us. He going over to fight the Cold War.
He ain't go with that way. There ain't no money going in my motherfucking pocket.
Well, Wilder's already fought 3 times in Russia in the amateur, so this is not going to be anything new to him when it comes down to that crowd who's going to come into it. But I'm glad it's happening, first of all.
He's going to have to knock him out. He ain't leaving out that belt on no point. I tell you that right now. He has to knock him out. No doubt about it. All his other fights, this fight, he has to knock this motherfucker out.
Yeah. One thing I see about Wilder, though, when it comes down to it, he does tend to fight to the level of his competition. Because the best fight he had was still with Stavern, and you saw what he did with Stavern. He used that jab. He used the distance to make sure that Stubborn wasn't able to club him that well.
He got the great jab, but people are still able to get inside. You know what I'm saying? He got some holes. He's a good fighter. Don't get me wrong. Everybody say, "Oh, I don't hate him," but I see a lot of holes. I see some shit that people can capitalize that got some real skill. You know what I'm saying? And Sasha ain't no joke.
Oh, absolutely. That's why this fight with Povetkin is so interesting, because he has the pedigree to do it. At the same time, the Wilder has the height. Yeah. At the same time, the Wilder has that right hand, and he does have that height advantage and the reach advantage. So it's going to be an interesting fight. Like I said, I'm first glad it's happening. I think the main reason why people thought they were going to drop it off is because they thought he was going to do like Peter Quillen, where Heyman is the one ordering him to drop the belt rather than do business. Wilder's one of those rare cases in the PBC where you cannot do that with, and he's not going to be it. Like, boxing beats Rance's point. He's there with his daughter every day. He's there winning that belt. That he has inspiration to keep that belt on top of being an American, the heavyweight that could
all
easily
fight for something.
yeah. And this especially, he could easily almost unify the division by the end of the year, because he wants to fight 4 times a year. So if he could clear this fight right now with Povetkin, if by some miracle Charles Martin beats Anthony Joshua on April 9th.
Miracle? Charles got to do that damn chin.
Joshua got to do the same thing too. I personally, like I said, I think Charles Martin is going to be sacrificed to Anthony Joshua.
Oh, come on, man.
Mobile, strong, and light of foot.
Come on, man. Charles Martin he gonna knock out Anthony Joshua.
We'll see.
He gonna knock out Anthony Joshua.
Stop dreaming, AJ. Stop dreaming.
Really? Wow.
AJ gonna get gassed out about the 5th, 6th round, and he gonna.
I'm gonna come back here, yeah, because I'm gonna cover the whole. I've got press pass to the whole thing, yeah. I'm gonna come back here and I'm gonna tell you, I told you so. I'm gonna tell you, I told you so. Like, he's got the best.
Charles Martin is gonna win, Jack. I'm telling you.
Get that crow plate ready.
And let me listen to this. You gonna eat the crow feet. Listen to this, right? He's got Henry Tillman. He's got some good sparring partners. He ain't gonna come off the lose. He's gonna drag Anthony Joshua in deep waters. He's gonna drown him. It's pure and simple. That's what's gonna happen.
EJ, are you British? I'm starting to really want.
Yes. He's very British.
EJ does a lot of things to try to get the port out of the UK.
I mean, you guys get you guys as black bird. You guys getting you guys as black Deontay Wilder and British. You should be standing up for your AJ, man.
That's my dude, man. Listen, bro.
You got to keep in mind now, he's not a Kell Brook fan either, so.
I'm not stand Kell Brook. Now, he Brook before. And you know why already. He was Michael. He's busy. Hey, come on. You know, listen. This was going to happen. Wilder was never going to give up his belt, and the Kid Quillen thing paralyzes doesn't really wash him, because Kid Quillen was defending his belt like 5 times. The only time he defended was Cobalt. He thought, you know what, I don't even like it. Nah, I'm not even on that. He didn't even see it as a challenge. That's the reason why he gave it up. He didn't just get the belt and
also, remember, he had personal reasons too.
And then, with Wilder in the belt, Wilder in the WBC belt when he got the belt. Me and Beats talked to this dude, bro. This is before he was a champion, bro. We know this. What this dude? We know what this dude's about. He goes, he's a world champion. He said to us, right, and when we interviewed him, he said, I'm gonna defend the belt in every country. I'm not gonna be the America's champion. I'm gonna defend my belt all over the world. So he'll go wherever. You already see he's come to England, beat Audley Harrison. He'll go wherever. So we already knew he was gonna go out there. He's gonna look at, I'll do the Brown to address you. And Judah Brown, to address your comments about the infight, he knows how to do that too. Mark Brennan and when we talk to him, he goes, I know how to infight as well. I know how to hold. I know how to fight inside. I know exactly how to deal with him, man. There's no way Povetkin. I don't see Povetkin win the fight. He gets brutally knocked out, and Beach is right. They better have security over there, bro, because they're gonna try to kill him over there, for real.
Yep. But that's gonna be a fun fight.
My problem is that Povetkin, he fights in large points. He had large segments of each fight where he's inactive, if it goes distance. And if Wilder can keep that jab going, can keep giving him angles, I just don't see Povetkin. Yes, he has power, but he got to get there. And there are large moments during the fight where
and you can get inside of him. Everybody gets inside of him. You can get inside of him. Every fight. You can get inside of him. They can't capitalize when they get inside. They can't capitalize on it. Sasha will. Only take one punch from him. You see what the fuck he did to Mike Perez? Shit.
That doesn't compare. Come on now. Come on.
I'm just saying, as punching power, the man got power.
But you got to get there with the power.
He
You
ain't
got
gonna
to get
hit
there
you
with the
with it.
power.
I mean, Povetkin. I mean, sorry, not
All right,
Povetkin.
nobody
Wilder
can get
does.
inside of Deontay Wilder. He's the baddest motherfucking heavyweight on the goddamn planet.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But that doesn't,
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
I'm not saying that. But that doesn't necessarily mean. That doesn't necessarily
He ain't
mean.
never gonna
that
get
Pov-
lit. Ever.
No, I'm not saying that.
I mean, let's be honest.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that Povetkin gonna beat this dude.
Wilder plays the Wilder fight.
I don't agree with nothing, because everybody you pick, you lose, bro. Everybody you pick, you lose.
And you lost some fights too. And you lost some fights too now on the show. Well, you had to eat through as well, so.
Way worse than mine. Leave that. Shit, your percentage gotta be like.
You know,
50.
Wilder fights to the competition of his opponent. So Wilder may come out full of Stavern and just outclass Povetkin. We really don't know. It depends what Wilder wants to show.
Stavern knocked his ass out like 2 times.
Wilder can't. Stavern knocked out who?
He just been eating this shit, but he gonna stop. He gonna come up somebody
every round.
Yo, anybody know if this fight gonna be on pay-per-view or is it on PBC?
It hasn't been announced yet.
It's in Russia.
Probably like HBO or something. I don't think it's gonna be no paper. It's gonna be like HBO or Showtime or some shit.
That's the key. That's the key though, because
Wilder is not that big, pay-per-view.
I know it probably won't be
We don't know
pay-per-view.
who the fuck he is.
But the thing about it, this is the interesting thing though, because Povetkin's promoter is the one in charge. This could wind up on HBO instead of Showtime.
Yeah, either HBO or one.
If it goes on
Not no pay-per-view.
HBO, it's gonna be a really high number of views, man. HBO is better than Showtime when it comes to you be able to push fights, and I think that Wilder needs that HBO exposure.
If it goes on HBO, I want to know their reaction throughout the fight, given how they barely acknowledge him beforehand. How they going to handle it if the fight's on HBO?
Hey, it doesn't matter because Wilder gonna mention it in the post fight. He ain't scared of nobody. He gonna mention it right there in the post fight. You didn't miss me, Jim Lappy. I just knocked him out in front of you. I mean, I want to see Wilder just go off on Jim Lappy in the post fight. I would love to see that. Just like Floyd Mayweather did. Remember when Floyd Mayweather, Jim pissed off Floyd? No, was it?
That was Larry Merchant.
It was Weston, Larry Merchant. My bad.
That was
I
after
do the same
years
thing.
and years
Take that
ago.
mic away and say you never gave me a chance.
Look, man.
No, he told me he's gonna whoop his ass.
Jim Lappy ain't going in the ring. They ain't that important. They ain't that important. It's all about Wilder and Povetkin. And he's got to watch out for Rosada as well. I don't trust... But I believe the British Boxing Board of Control might be doing the doping. They might be taking over for Rosada while they're cleaning up. So hopefully that is the situation.
Let's talk Rigo here. He was supposed to fight over the weekend in the UK. The fight's been canceled due to visa issues. A lot of confusion here. Do anybody here knows what's really going on with that situation?
This is what happened. Yeah, this is what happened.
Frank Warren didn't want to come over. Yeah, Frank Warren done that to boost up sales for his fight, and he knew that they won't bring him in. They did the same thing to Vivian Harris. They boost up sales and make out like they didn't get the visa. That's what they did, man. I told you he crook, man. Told you the crook. They realized Rigo wasn't falling for the okie doke coming early, and they're gonna put Rigo in a mess in one of them city hotels. Make sure he eats some dodgy food, and then that's what they were gonna do. Now that they were gonna do that, and they were gonna put him in a shabby hotel. When Rock Nation came over, no.
EJ, let me in your house, man. Let me in your house, EJ. Let me stay at your house.
Nah. I ain't doing that with Rigo, bro. Like Rigo. Rock Nation was coming over, and they had it all sorted out. They had the hotel, they had training thing, they had it all sorted out. And Frank Warren got scared. He said, "Oh, you gonna kill our boy Jazz Dick? Rigo gonna kill him." He said, "Nah, you know what? We ain't sorting out your visa." That's what they did, man. And that's what Frank Warren's about, the dodgy guy. Beast, what B call him is a dodgy car salesman. That's what he is, man. That's what he is.
Yeah, it's a weird situation because they didn't grant him the visa in Russia, but he was allowed to fly back to Miami.
But I thought you couldn't do that when you having visa situations.
That's what everyone is wondering how he managed to do that.
Well, I thought he has American citizenship. Once Cubans cross the water, so they hit Florida, don't they have right to citizenship? If I remember.
No, the way. Oh, well, as somebody that's doubled a lot of Cubans, the situation where they have a special immigration status that expedites the process of citizenship. But the thing with Regal was mainly he had to go to Russia because his trainer was training Rudnikov. And his trainer said, I didn't feel right just leaving my guy there while I go train this guy, so I brought him over. And the whole situation got turned in. Now, you're allowed to fly back to the country of your citizenship when you have a visa issue. So he was allowed to go back to the U.S. I don't know what the situation is. EJ may have a point there because Frank Warren does have a bit of a reputation now. So it may just be like Frank Warren just saw the Reagan was going to whip his ass and things happened.
Yeah, he did with Vivian Harris. We talked to Vivian Harris. Me and Beats had it all set up. We was going to go ringside. Beats was doing his music for him. I was going to go ringside, hold Vivian Harris's belt, whatever belt it was. We had it all planned out. The night he comes there, they said he had a shadow on his brain, and they said he couldn't fight. He said, why we get a second opinion? They said, no, you can't fight. So they gave him money to go right back. And now they almost damaged his career. Obviously, I had an interview with him. I put it out there to say that he's all right. Then he had a scan, had another interview with him, and he continued his career. And then he went to Mexico, and he beat Jorge Paez Jr., the one Margarito fights. Like, everyone who's damaged up fights Jorge Paez Jr. So anyway, he went on to beat him, and whatever, the rest of history ever. So Frank Warren has done this before, so I'm not surprised this has happened. In fact, I'm happy, because I don't trust Frank Warren. And he was saying that Regal was going to be upset as well. But when he realized they had a whole training camp and they were in a hotel, Frank said, no, you're going to kill our boy. I can't afford that. So that's what he did, in my opinion. It's not fact. Just give him my opinion.
Let's move on and talk about a non-boxing related issue. The UFC, as the face of UFC right now, Conor McGregor got stopped by Nate Diaz over the weekend, stopped in the second round on that same card. Holly Holm lost to Miesha Tate. I'm going to go to you, Gail, on this one first. Let's talk about Holly Holm and that fight with Tate. Holm, she moved around a lot. I thought she had control of the fight. Round 2, she was on the ground getting choked. She eventually got choked out in the 5th round. Talk about that fight right quick, as well as talking about Conor McGregor, to many folks getting his comeuppance.
Holly Holm put on a good fight. A lot of fighters are winning until they're not. And that's what happened to her. She was winning until Miesha Tate was winning. So we have a changing of the guard yet again. She owned it. She certainly handled defeat a whole lot better than her previous opponent did, which has been pointed out several times that she owned it, and she'll be fine. This is all to the good for women's combat sports. I'm pleased to see all the talk, all the excitement, a lot of folks watching these women, getting to know their names, a lot of changing of the guard, no one dominant name, which is exciting, but to a point it really shuts a lot of other women athletes out who deserve a little time getting attention. So now Miesha Tate's in the rotation, and Holly will be back. Ronda, interesting. I'm not quite sure what her fate is. She was really, really broken by her defeat, and it remains to be seen for her. McGregor, we talked a little about this before the show, and I'll get this discussion started, and I'm sure it's going to light right up. He went up several weight classes for this fight, and he went up a lot of weight. So it turned out to be not the best idea for him. A lot of the people who think he's a brash Floyd Mayweather type of combat sports, big mouth, likes himself, not afraid to talk. A lot of people like to see a guy like that get taken down a notch. He has made the sport exciting. He's exactly like Floyd does. So I have no hate for him at all.
Compare him against Floyd Mayweather, a fucking boxer.
Let's go to you on this one, Doodle Brown. I think you share the assessment in terms of
comparing boxing and MMA. This two fucking different things. Holy, can't even put them in the same fucking bag, yo. Anyway, Holly Holm, yep, she did. Yeah, she got beat. Whatever. Miesha Tate lost to Ronda Rousey twice. So the next fight is gonna be against Ronda and Miesha Tate. and Ronnie may well, win the belt again because she did beat Miesha Tate twice. But anyway, Conor, yeah, I just didn't like the guy. I liked him at first. He just started rubbing me off with this, I'm better than everybody, I'm God, you might as well just, I'm Jesus and all this. That's when he started blowing me off. And Floyd ain't never went there. You know what I'm saying? This guy was just like, I don't know what the fuck he was on. I think he's on crack or something. But, I'm glad he got beat. Shit, I knew Nick. I said if he got down on the ground with Nick, it was over. It was over. And when he got on that ground, that was it, Jack. I'm telling you, he fucked him up. He tapped out quick.
I'm gonna go to you, EJ, and then you, Daniel. You went to YouTube straight after the fight, basically talking stone cold shit about McGregor, and basically it was a fight of Diaz. You knew he was too big for Conor McGregor. Took the punishment, and once to Dudu's point, he got to him with some shots and got him on the ground. It was over. But to me, Dudu Brown is right. The reason I talk about this because of the comparisons that, and the shade, quite frankly, that MMA, particularly those within the UFC, love to throw at the sport. And for me, in the aftermath, for folks who want to give Conor McGregor so much credit for moving up to fight Nate Diaz, okay, you can do that, fine. But then don't talk so much mess about Roy Jones when he moved up to heavyweight and beat John Ruiz. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Dana White's cash cow's gone. Ronda Rousey's gone, and there's another one. There's another another guy, Sage. He got beat as well. And listen, bro, this made me laugh. Conor McGregor, I like Conor McGregor, yeah, but he was talking that cash money shit. That, bro, when you start saying you can beat up Floyd like Ronnie Rousey, and what it is with these MMA guys that want to talk about Floyd, oh yeah, like that, and he's not a man like me, and they start talking that, and then they got to the point where this guy's so arrogant that you're gonna say, I'll fight any. I'll tell Dana.
Let me stop you right there. Excuse me for interrupting. I want to make a note how Holm showed more heart and that she fought to the end, didn't tap out, but McGregor did. Proceed.
That on that tip, I disagree. Because I don't think it's big to just sit there and get submitted. First of all, when someone gives you a rear naked shot, they crush your larynx. Yeah, you can't breathe. You can't talk properly for weeks. Why would you want to let someone do that to you? I think what Conor did was right. In that sport, you practice in the gym to tap out when you're going to get big. What? So if someone gives you the leg lock, you're not going to tap out to be brave.
My point is, that's a boxing mentality. She brought the boxing mentality.
You got to tap out, man. The guy
it's not doing nothing to do with that. She got nothing to do with that. She got choked out, yeah? When she threw her on the back of her head, if you asked in the interview, she wanted to tap out. But she wanted to tap out, but she thought she was doing that. But she's already blacking out already when she threw her over. So for me, this is my opinion. I don't think it's any big thing for someone to let you choke out. That's not a good thing, man. That's not good. Like, so Conor did the right thing. Another thing as well,
immediately?
Yeah.
He got on the ground and immediately like, I want none. I'm done.
Well, let me get you in the choke.
Particularly for some.
He wasn't getting out of that choke.
Let me get you in the choke.
But the problem is he talks so much mess. He says he'll do this, he'll do that.
I'm getting to that. That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to tell you this is where he went wrong. Not that where he tapped. That's in that sport. That's what you're supposed to do. Talking about the cash money shit, he was talking about Floyd. He actually said he'll knock out Jesus Christ. Yeah, and some religious people don't like that. And he was just talking like he was the baddest man on the planet. And he said, I'll fight anyone. And people loved the arrogance, the bravado. They loved it. It was just like, yeah. But Nate Diaz, he thought Nate Diaz was a sacrificial lamb. Nate Diaz didn't even have a bloody 2-week training camp for that fight. He came in, he was fat. He couldn't even make the weight. He was supposed to fight a lightweight, Conor. So he went all the way up to world. But that's the only reason why. He would have fought him at lightweight. But he said, I just want to fight anyone. So they put him in Conor, went in there. He thought Nate was going to be a bomb. He thought he was going to knock him out. Went in there and he was winning the first 2 rounds. He blooded up Nate's face, but Nate was hanging in there like the bigger guy did. The punches weren't hurt. They were hurting him, but not too much. And Nate was still in it. You know what Nate did in that fight? Nate started bitch slapping him. Punched him one and slapped him the other. Then, Conor got shook up by one of them slaps. He got dizzy. He tried to shoot. That means grab him for the legs. He tried to almost like a bloody American football charge. He tried to bloody, what I call it again? Anyway,
a tackle.
He tried to tackle him. Good man. He tried to tackle him, And as he was trying to tackle him, Nate Diaz got his arm round his neck, threw him over. Conor tried to roll over on his back, and then he turned over on his front. And he started pounding him out, and he choked him out. And he tapped. Good tap. You damn right you're gonna fucking tap, boy. If you didn't tap, boy, it'll crush you. Nate Diaz want to make him go to sleep and embarrass him even more. It's embarrassing to go out, but hey, Holly Holmes is a fighter. No credit took away from Holly Holmes. But Holly Holmes and the thing that Dana White threw Holly Holmes underneath the bus the moment she beat Ronda Rousey. He never promoted her. Holly was doing her own promotion. She saw her with Floyd Mayweather and all that. They didn't want to promote her. Even her fight with Miesha Tate, they didn't even promote that. They basically, that fight was just like, oh, no one really cares. And then that fight was turned into one of the best fights you ever saw. Strategy. Miesha and Cupcake Tate, by the way, that's her name. She did great strategy. Holly Holmes was winning the fight, but Holly Holmes was so Miesha was so patient. Holly kind of wanted to stop her, and she got a bit too aggressive. What Miesha Tate did, she grabbed her by her waist, crawled up her back, and got in the same chokehold. Then Holly jumped on her, dumped on her head, and then she got choked down, and that happens, yeah. But what great fights! And you know what? It's rarely like you have boxing and MMA people can talk about, but I think that's the way forward. You need to talk about MMA sometimes if they have good fights, and boxing if they're good fights. So good, big up to Michael talking on the pound but it was a great fight, and Conor got what he deserved. But I want to see him again and see what happens next.
I want to ask you guys a quick question. Now that Conor McGregor got exposed, who you think would win in the MMA fight out of him and Floyd Mayweather?
Two different sports. I can't.
Hypothetically, if it ever happened, who would you pick?
Floyd Mayweather kick his ass.
I don't even like making that comparison because to do the ground in two different sports. You can't make it so. I don't really like going there.
He's undefeated. I'm going with the undefeated guy. He'll find a way to win, bro. He'll keep pecking and poking and keep giving them count. When Conor McGregor comes with his wide stuff, he'll catch him in that checker and knock him out. He got exposed, man. He ain't that good. It's a big loudmouth braggart. I'm going with Money Mayweather. That's me.
Well, can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead, please.
I see Pacquiao lose conclusively on points to Eric Morales. He's been knocked out with body shots. Yeah? And they still put this guy on the same level as the best boxer in the last 25 odd years. They put this angry looking girl, who I don't know none of her opponents, on the same level, saying he can beat her, and the mainstream media was alright with it. This guy Conor, how much times has he lost? What's he done in the sport? Right? They're very comfortable putting these dudes on the same level as this guy. And it just shows what the mainstream media is all about. And to answer your question, what you first said about who's the face of the UFC, well, it ain't Nate Diaz, it ain't Ronda Rousey, and it ain't Conor McGregor. It is Dana White. It's Dana White. Dana White is the face of the UFC. Dana White thinks he's this remarkable dude, and that if he stays silent, that UFC will disappear. No, it won't actually. If you put on good fights, good shows, the people will turn up. No one cares about you, Dana. Dana's the face of UFC, basically. And that's why he's promoting these guys stupidly, comparing them to boxers. So, it is what it is.
I gotta respond to Beats real quick. And he was talking about Pacquiao. They was putting Pacquiao in the same breath as Mayweather. Well, you gotta realize Pacquiao beat a prime Morales and a prime Barrera. The best win on Mayweather's resume for a prime fighter was Diego Corrales.
Catchweight, at a catchweight. Catchweight king. He never fought nobody in they full.
Catchweight.
You know what I'm saying? Weight. He always fought every fight catchweight. Pacquiao did. And he was on that goddamn juice. Yeah.
So he never fought Ricky Hatton in his prime? Huh?
I said his best prime win was Diego Corrales.
No, he ain't. Ricky Hatton was considered a serious contender at that time.
Yeah, you saying Ricky Hatton win was a better win than Diego Corrales?
I'm from the UK, and I'm telling you, if you look on the odds making, it was fairly close. It wasn't no landslide, bro. It was pretty close, man, even to a 50-50 fight. Looking back on it, obviously not, but it was a 50-50 fight over in the UK. Ricky Hatton was undefeated. Beat every man who ever stepped in the ring. That was his prime. What are you talking about here?
Okay, so beating the prime Ricky Hatton, is that a better win than beating the prime Morales and Barrera?
Yeah, hell yeah. Of course it is. Who cares, man? Who cares? Maybe it was a team.
When did he finally beat Morales? With the third fight or something like that? I mean, didn't they fight 3 or 4 times? Come on, man. Shit. I wish y'all quit Floyd is in his own fucking category. Let me tell you motherfuckers one more time. Floyd is his own man. He's in his own category. Can't compare to him, man. 49-0. That's all I'm going to say.
Tell him, man. Took that size.
49-0.
See the question I would reply.
All world champions. I don't care if they was in their prime or not. He be all world champion. 49-0.
Here's the question I'd reply and ask. Do you think all them guys you're talking about would have just went in the ring with Floyd like that? At them weights there? No, they wouldn't. They'd have to be getting paid a whole lot of money. I tell you, you'd see divas if Floyd called them out. You'd see divas. Because they know how, you might not know how good he is, but they know. They know. Pacquiao knows.
Pacquiao done know. Go ahead, Beats.
Marquez knows.
Tell him, rev up the engine. Yeah. Michael, hey, come on, Michael, man. Let's keep it moving. Everyone's quiet now.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Go ahead, Doodoo.
I said I'm listening. They talking about the motherfucking Floyd Mayweather. Do you know that's my motherfucking man? That's my motherfucking man. I've been watching Floyd since he came out the fucking Olympics. I'm like, okay, what? I just know he was guided. His career was so guided. It was smooth. He got out the game when he needed to get out the game. He fought when he knew he fought. That's just how it is. I'm sorry if he didn't fight all motherfuckers in their prime when they were just coming. So what? At the end of the day, boxing is a business. And the man, and he fought world champions. He didn't fight no chumps. They world champions. You feel me? Shit. Get off the man's back.
Yeah, he didn't take no disrespect by jumping up weight classes.
Yeah, man. He would never call him dirty. You know what I'm saying? He's the cleanest fighter. I don't know why.
No, I got cut off.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Shady.
Yeah, Beast. Yeah, what was his question? I got cut off.
He was getting worked. That's what's going on. Beast, work him over again one more time.
Oh damn.
No, I was just saying, like, you know, if you don't believe that a lot of fighters were ducking Floyd at that period, you probably weren't watching boxing. But I mean, a lot of them guys you're calling out.
Shane Mosley did duck Floyd. I know Mosley ducked him.
Well, if you know that, you answered your own question. There's a reason they ducked him, and they weren't ducking Pacquiao like that. There's a reason. You might not know what the reason is, but there's a reason.
Oh yeah, you got a good point there.
He's a badass. That's what he is. He beat every man in front of him, and he's 49-0. Look back at it, boy. It's bad. Pacquiao making up lies over there, saying he showed her, and now he's, anyway, I ain't getting to it.
I mean, look, yeah, I've said it before. Y'all know I have my issues with Floyd outside the ring, but in the ring, you can't doubt what he's done. You just cannot. People will say, well, he didn't fight this guy at this lower weight, he didn't fight this guy's lower weight, but the overall resume, nah, man. He's ATG for sure, and high up on the ATG list. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. Let's move on. And I go to you on this one, Daniel. We was talking before the show. You was talking a possible opponent upcoming for Terrence Crawford, possibly Postol.
Well, this is what was happening right now. The way Bob Arum is trying to sell HBOs right now, he originally tried to sell Crawford and Provodnikov, and then with the Verdejo fight to pair those two up again, and then have Walters Lomachenko be paired up with Postol. He's done a better job now. He's not pairing a Crawford fight, and then putting up a Postol fight next to it, and then putting the Walters fight and putting in Verdejo. Here's the issue, though. Lucas Matisse is not being declared out of the Canelo con card, and he was supposed to fight Mauricio Herrera. Mauricio Herrera he said he wanted to fight, I think, Ruslan Provodnikov, and that's the opponent that Arum wants for Crawford. I said it before, I said it again. If there's a time for Oscar to come in and screw with Bob, it is now. He could easily just slide a little bit more money. Hey, Ruslan, come here. We'll get you we'll get you on a pay-per-view, and you'll try to get revenge on a loss, and Herrera will get a good fight. That opens up a lot of windows because the fight you want to see now at 140 when it comes to top rank is Crawford versus Postol. There's no excuse for it, the fight not to happen now. Except for the fact that maybe Arum wants to marinate a little bit more, and you have to sell it out. But that's gonna be what's different coming into it is if Golden Boy slides a little bit more money Provodnikov's way to have him reject Terence Crawford and go fight Mauricio Herrera. I personally think Provodnikov probably was a little bit more exciting to fight Crawford because he'll be fighting for the belt that he lost to Algieri. So he may want that belt back, but we'll have to wait and see.
Any response on that news from Daniel regarding Crawford and Postol and the possibility from anybody? Unmute your mic, folks.
Yeah, that's the fight I want to see, man. I want to see Crawford against Postol, but I don't know if it's going to be next. I doubt it's going to be the next fight.
It's going to be a good fight, though.
Well, it's a big problem that it's not the next fight, really, you know. I mean, why do I want to see Postol or Crawford struggle with some dudes who ain't got the skills to beat them? The only natural fight is for them to fight, you know. Why do I want to see Crawford beat up another Hank Lundy or Thierry John? It's a waste of potential of what the both two fighters can do.
Well, now, according to the reports that are coming out of Golden Boy, and you have to decide whether you believe this or not, Eric Gomez, who's their matchmaker, told Dan Rafael that the reason Matisse is out is his call because his eye is still giving him problems. Remember, he lost to Postol saying that his eye was injured. So he's saying he's the one not ready to return.
That still opens up a lot of things, Gail.
It does. And first of all, you have to decide whether you believe that explanation on its face or not. But it means Matisse isn't part of this negotiation. So your scenario, not for the same reasons, perhaps, that we think, is still possible. And you're right. Golden Boy and Arum, although they're getting along okay. They have a marriage of convenience going on right now, and so far so good. They're getting along. I don't know if they want to bust up that good thing over this fight. You know, if they're going to destroy this détente they've got going on, you know, they're both all about making money. It'd have to be over something a little bigger. I don't think they're going to screw around with this one.
Well, to Beat's point, I agree with him on this one. Crawford and Postol is the fight that we all want to see. They're the two top fighters in the division right now. No need for them to toil around fighting other dudes unless unless Crawford, they want to match Crawford up somehow against a Broner. But outside of that, I agree with Beats in the general assessment here. Crawford and Postol is the fight people want to see. Postol, in my opinion, at that weight, that's the biggest challenge for Terence Crawford, and let's hope it happens sooner than later. Julio Cesar Chavez, and news shouldn't be a surprise to anyone here, dropped out of his fight with Baldo Jack due to a quote-unquote heel injury. I'm sorry, anybody can chime in. I'm not buying it. We all know the story, how he broke from camp, was in the beach in Malibu somewhere. Again, I'm disgusted with this guy. I don't have much to say. Anybody else want to comment? If not, that's fine with me.
I think the injury's real. Maybe he was running on the beach. You know, sometimes the sand's a little rough. Anything can happen out there on the beach, man. No, it's BS. Of course, he pulled out because he wasn't going to win the fight. Baldo Jack won't put that ass whooping on.
Nah, man, I believe him, man. You know, I don't think he ever lied.
Are you smoking what he's smoking?
Nah, he never lied.
Apparently Chavez is sharing his weed now.
No. I believe him. I think, you know, legit, and they're going to reschedule the fight, and that's it, man.
It is ridiculous. Finally, after all this time, Senior called his son out. And that had to take a lot for Chavez Sr. to publicly dress his son down. He has backed him up. He's covered for him. He begged Freddie Roach to keep him on. Freddie trained Chavez Jr. as long as he did, only out of respect to Chavez Sr. I think when he saw his son quit on the stool against Fonfara last summer, I think right there and then the light switch flipped and he finally said, I've had enough. But he kept his cool. He didn't air it out in public until this latest shenanigans. You know, Chavez is not motivated. He doesn't have the work ethic. He's got all the natural talent thanks to the DNA God as a gift, but he's done nothing with it. And nobody should be spending another dime or another minute of conversation on that kid. Well, and I won't. After this, I'm done.
Sorry, I don't even think he has the talent that his father has. Not even close.
No, he doesn't. And it's unlikely they're going to reschedule the fight because Badou Jack is coming up to 6 months without defending, and the IBF have actually wrote him a letter, so he's due to defend the belt. So they're going to look for another opponent. Like Chavez is saying, hopefully May. They can't rely on that, and hopefully a May. You know, because the guy's unreliable. He's a bit of a flake. So.
Yeah, and as far as believing him, hell, this is the same Chavez Jr. who thought he was ahead in the Fonfara fight before he quit. Then he claimed he didn't quit. So no.
He was though, and he was beating Martinez as well, like on the scorecards.
Okay, you're trolling right now, EJ. You're trolling right now, EJ. Stop it. Do you want to get muted, sir? Do you want to get muted, sir?
I think it's time for Chavez to get a DNA test on his son to see who his kid, man. That's what I think. Next step is DNA test, man. That's what I think.
Man, a bit like
that ain't his baby. It don't even look like him. They ain't his baby.
Hey, listen, Chavez lost credibility when they stripped Martinez of the belt and gave it Chavez. It was over for me, man. I was on his ass from then.
Absolutely. Let's start shutting the show down because we're running really long here. Talk about some fights in the weekend. David Lemieux is fighting over the weekend. Flanagan and Matthews in a title fight. Beats, EJ, do y'all consider that a domestic fight like Quigg and Frampton?
Go ahead, Beats.
Well, Flanagan and Matthews is no more than a British title fight, really, in my opinion. But, you know, they keep showing replays of him knocking out old Nate Campbell, which is good, you know, but yeah, I don't know, man. Look, if they really want to prove themselves to be some great fighters, do what James DeGale has done and go across the pond and go and fight some proper fighter. I mean, that's all I can say, man.
But the problem is, Beats, when you look at the lightweight landscape, what's there?
Linares, Felix Verdejo. There's guys there. There's what's his name again? Yvonne Mendy, the one who beat Luke Campbell. There's guys out there waiting for them. They need to step up, man. You can't be that fight there. Listen, bro, I wouldn't waste your time. I'm gonna watch it though. I wouldn't tell anyone. What you need to be watching, the biggest upset of the weekend. I'm gonna tell you right now. Saddam Andam faces Patrick Mendy over here from Reading, England. He's gonna upset Andam. Trust me, man. He's a massive underdog. He's only got one knockout on his record, and he will upset Saddam Hassan Andam. That was
you can't. You said Hassan Andam?
Yeah, he's fighting on the weekend against Patrick.
Wait. If you can't knock him down, you can't win a fight. I mean, you're not going to win a fight, you don't knock him down, man.
He's going to win the fight, and he's a massive underdog, but I've got him winning that fight. That's the biggest upset of the week. And also, Zab Judah's fighting. Zab Judah's fighting on the card. Zab Judah's fighting on a CBS card as well, so you guys got to check out for that as well.
No, okay. Okay. I'm not moved by that. I'm not moved by that Judah fight. I'm sorry.
Oh, man. I don't blame you.
You know what, Zab?
That's a world-class fight. It's Josh Torres. Josh Torres is a tough, gritty component, man. Hey, listen, Zab Judah, this should be a good fight, man. Should be a good fight. It's free.
But the Indam fight, at least, you know, to me, he's more relevant at middleweight than Judah is at welterweight. And for me, Indam, to Hakim's point, when he doesn't get knocked down, he's a damn good boxer. He's highly skilled.
Yeah, I mean, they were trying to say he was supposed to be the next Parnell Whitaker. But another guy on the undercard is me and Beats interviewed him. Leon Spinks the third, the slickster southpaw at lightweight. He's going against Jesus Guerrero. I don't know what his name is.
See, there you go. There you don't even know what it is. I'm more
Jesus Soto Caras?
Nah. Wait. Leon Spinks is the next Jinx in the link of greatness. Trust me, you need to watch out for him.
I'm more interested in the Tete bout on the Matthews Flanagan undercard.
That's a good fight. Tete versus Jose Santos Gonzalez. You know about this guy? I've never heard of him before.
I don't know much about him. I have to find some video of him, but I'm more interested in Tete. and how he looks post Butler. I mean, he's had a couple of fights in South Africa since then, but I want to see how he looks in Saturday night.
Yeah. I mean, I've got the record right now of the guy Jose Santos Gonzalez. He got 22 wins with 12 knockouts. He's got 3 losses. He ain't got no notable names on his record. He fights out of Mexico, so I don't know, man. His last fight he actually lost by a unanimous decision, so he might be durable.
Yeah,
he may be.
And they're fighting for the IBF belt, man. Our international belt. He had that belt already. But was he bantamweight before?
Zalante Tete, he had the junior bantamweight belt, the IBF version, but they stripped him because, quite frankly, he wasn't getting the money. They didn't offer. It was because of money. He didn't, so.
Yeah, so he's moved up. Yeah, so this is the international belt, but England might have the card of the weekend maybe.
You just mentioned Soto Caress. They're matching him up against that Kama guy, so they're looking for a slugfest in California with that one, man.
Oh, that's gonna be beautiful.
If I was Jesse Vargas, I would fight the winner of that fight.
No, Mike, no.
Yeah, I would say no.
No,
that's not too much risk, too little reward there. Damned entertaining, but a bad idea.
Hey,
he get a lot of street cred though.
And he'll lose it once he gets knocked out by either one of them.
I don't think you cash street cred at the bank though. Damn.
I'm just saying, if he wins, a lot of street cred there.
Hey, you guys hear Miguel Cotto maybe fighting James Kirkland?
Nope. That's why I didn't talk about it. Just nope.
I got James Kirkland winning that fight.
Man, you ain't gonna talk about boxing. I heard it's gonna be pay-per-view as well. Look, man,
that's the problem. That's the problem. That fight shouldn't be pay-per-view.
With Ann Wolf in the corner, it should be always pay-per-view. Trust me.
Ann Wolf, James Kirkland wins with Ann Wolf.
Ann Wolf and Teddy Atlas, the fireman. When the fireman comes and when Ann Wolf comes, trust me, it's pay-per-view. She gets the best out of Kirkland. And Teddy Atlas, Teddy Atlas is Teddy Atlas.
Look, man, she's not Batman or Robin. She gets the best out of Kirkland if Kirkland is relatively active, yeah? She even said herself she wouldn't have took the Canelo fight. She wouldn't have put him in that hard. Like, she needs a long period, like adjusting to a fighter-coach relationship. The only reason they're trying to get Ann Wolf on board so they can sell the fight. I even see someone in the comment section. If Ann Wolf is in the corner, I'm going to bet on Kirkland. What for? It's 2016. I mean, Kirkland just got messed up real bad. You know what I mean? Ann Wolf ain't Superwoman.
He had a year layoff. Let him get like a little tiny fight.
But the problem is, I think this is where Beast is going. Excuse me if I'm speaking for y'all to turn. It's not just a physical thing vis-a-vis James Kirkland. It's mental and psyche with him.
Well, even beyond that, right? I see him get flatlined, right? At least let this guy have one fight, and let's see how he is before an elite fighter takes him on. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely crazy for Cotto to fight that guy after we see him prostrate on the canvas like that, man. That's crazy. Doesn't make sense.
But it's a gimme fight. That's the point.
I know Ann Wolf got paid when he fought Canelo, though.
Yeah,
she got paid when he fought Canelo.
She did.
She's like his manager or something. She got paid. You know, she didn't train him. He didn't want to go with her. She got paid.
Yeah, she ain't no dummy in that regard. So I'll tip my hat to her for that alone.
That Dr. Dre Easy E thing. He's still gonna get that money.
Oh, exactly. I'm just watching.
You should have went with her though. But I don't think it would have made no difference.
I agree. I think we're going to shut the show down on that note. I'm going to go around the hangout here, give folks time to prop their own thing. I'm starting with ladies first. Doodoo, MF, and Brown. For folks who want to talk boxing or anything.
Doodoo, motherfucker, Brown, why you ain't standing there? Now you can't cuss, motherfucker, you a saint? Nigga?
No.
What's good? Cause you was saying motherfucker Brown before, and all of a sudden now, MF Brown, yeah.
Look here, ma'am. I don't have to cuss on every show. That's my prerogative.
Shit, I ain't saying you have to cuss every show. All I'm saying is, you just flip the script. Look here, bro.
Nah, sister. I just don't decide to cuss on every show. But anyway, for folks who want to talk boxing or anything else, let the folks know where they can find
I'm
you.
gonna buy me a computer. I'm gonna start my own motherfucking show. I did before I got on your show in the first place. I'm gonna start my own shit. I know boxing. I know I'm boxing. I know all about goddamn boxing. I feel like y'all make me come in there. I come in these groups with y'all. Y'all just make me motherfuckers kind of feel kind of stupid, like they don't know what the fuck they talking about. Cause y'all throw up numbers and shit, but y'all actually don't know. Besides EJ, and I know he's been in the ring because I seen photos of it. None of y'all motherfuckers ever fought. Motherfucker ain't even had a street fight. Pussy ass nigga.
Trevor.
Alright, I'm gonna let it get away with it just because she did. One.
All right, y'all know. Good night.
Yeah, seriously though. First of all, just because we disagree with you don't mean you don't know your stuff. You do. That's number one. Secondly,
I know my shit. I don't care what y'all say.
You know, disagreement doesn't make us feel you're stupid. Quite the contrary. For folks who want to talk boxing, let the folks know where they can find you.
And you find me anyway. Just put in Doodoo Brown, and I'll pop up. Just Google me. That's all you gotta do.
Gail Falkenthal, Community Digital News. For folks who want to talk boxing or anything else, let the folks know where they can find you.
You could find me and my column on Communities Digital News at COM, C-O-M-M, Digi, D-I-G-I News, COM Digi News, and the interwebs, the Twitter, and all that stuff. You know, and like Doodoo, you got to Google my name, except you got to be able to spell mine. Good luck with that.
Boxing Beats and Rhymes, EJ Boxing Live. Join us live from the UK. For folks who want to talk boxing and whatnot, let the folks know where they can find you.
Yeah, man. You can find me on YouTube, Boxing Beats and Rhymes, Facebook, Boxing Beats and Rhymes, The Black Boxer, Facebook, Twitter, Boxing Beats and Rhymes. I'm there.
EJ Boxing Live.
EJ Boxing Live here. EJ Boxing Live here. Yo, man, I'm keeping funny, man. No, anyway, you can find me on Twitter, at Aerojar or EJ Boxing Live, and you catch me on YouTube, EJ Boxing Live. Beats has a hangout on Sunday. You can catch me on there every Sunday, and I do predictions every week, and or post straight after any big fights this weekend, which there is none. So you might not catch me on the hangout this weekend, but Hakeem and Scorsese, Umar, Mike occasionally comes over, and Daniel as well. What's blocker? What's that mean? I don't even know what that means, right? Like Hakeem.
Oh no, you try to speak patois for us, son?
He's trying to say. Go watch a rap battle in New York. You'll see what I mean.
Nah. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, he's trying to give me props. Yeah, so you can catch me there, UK. And I'm not a UK hater. I like our UK fighters. Is that I only believe in the best. And Kell Brook and some of the others are not doing it. So I go that's it. Right, that's it.
Yeah. For Hakeem Boxer, for folks who want to talk the sweet science or anything else, let the folks know where they can find you.
You can find me pretty much anywhere you find EJ, to be honest with you. If you find EJ, you'll probably find me. Because I'm always going to hang out.
It's true, bro.
EJ is like the big homie of Google Hangouts for me, so if you find EJ, you'll find me.
And stay away from the popos, man. Stay away from the popos.
You know what? One rolled past me when I come back on. One rolled right past me, kept falling slow behind me, like 15 yards behind me. I'm going 40, trying not to even go an inch over 40 miles per hour because I knew he was going to pull me over.
Stay woke, bro. Stay woke. For Daniel Carper, for folks who want to talk boxing or anything else, let the folks know where they can find you.
Yeah. Okay, you can find me on Twitter, Ruckus99. Like I said, tweet a lot. I just do two stories on the Inscriber. Talk boxing, talk NBA. Definitely, like I said, I do have a show on Sunday with the folks at 4 Boxing News. They weren't able to join us this evening. But we do shows every Sunday. We recap all the weekend's fights that we can, and we also cover boxing news. And like I said, all welcome to come in anytime.
Absolutely. I want to also thank Dill, Shady Slim. Who else joined us? Some other folks who joined us also during the show. Jacob, I should say, for joining us on the show.
Naoto and Miguel, Naoto.
Yeah, I had to kick. I'm sorry, Naoto and Miguel. I had to kick y'all off because there was too many folks in the hangout, and folks who was here earlier, they couldn't get back on. So I apologize for that. For folks who want to talk boxing and whatnot, y'all know what it is. Brother JR on Twitter at BrotherJR76. Again, and for folks who want to find information on the Pound for Pound Report, P4P Boxing Report at WordPress.com. That's the link for the blog. You look to the right of the blog page. Links to find us all over the interwebs, all over social media, Facebook, G+, YouTube, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, RSS feed for the show. If you want to check, subscribe there. Links to find us on Podomatic, Stitcher Radio, Flipboard Magazine, SoundCloud, iTunes, as well as the email address p4pboxingrpt@gmail.com. Next week, we're going to do a preview of Andre Ward returning to the ring to fight Sullivan Barrera. EJ's boy, Kell Brook, he's going to be fighting that same night over in England against Kevin Bizier. So we're going to talk about those fights and any other news and events that's going to happen in the interim. So for Doodoo Brown, for Gail Falkenthal, Boxing Beats and Rhymes, EJ Boxing Live, Daniel Carpio, Hakim Boxing, and everybody else who joined us, I am Michael. This has been another episode of the Pound for Pound Boxing Report. You guys have a good evening. Good night.